That video just made me think, like, dude, like, you were so privileged wherever you are.
Why do I feel like I'm about to be offended?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Putin take out the opposition leader. So, for those of you who don't know, Tucker Carlson went to Russia. He enjoyed himself by all accounts. He asked some pretty, low kind of difficulty questions because Tucker Carlson wanted to come home. He didn't want to ask a super difficult question and be locked up. I think any one of us can relate to that specific. But people obviously burning him for not asking these hard-hitting questions the entire time. But it was about a week or so after that Putin's main opposition leader was assassinated. And yeah, what a strange coincidence. And Jay, I believe you've got a couple of really fascinating theories that you were telling me over the week that I think we should go through. Or one theory, really.
It's just a theory. That's all it is.
Jay is not suicidal.
It just seems very coincidence, or too much of a coincidence that the timing of it all, that, just when Tucker Carlson's interview is basically blowing up, going everywhere, everyone's starting to hear different sides and starting to think, maybe, just maybe, it's not all Putin's fault. Definitely what he's done and what he's doing probably isn't right. But maybe he's not the bad, evil guy the media is making him out to be.
Yeah, he's not crazy.
And then all of a sudden, this guy dies, the opposition leader in jail. Now, I really don't know exactly what he was doing in jail, but I'm guessing it was maybe somewhere along the lines of maybe a Julian Assange kind of thing, of getting intel, a bit of a spy thing in Russia, trying to cohort and cause a civil war in between in Russia. Did anything just happen? Because
your light just went off.
Yeah, my whole screen just went off. That was creepy. Wow, I'm a bit rattled now.
Just as you start talking about this guy getting assassinated, your entire power just cuts off.
Yeah, how coincidental. Yeah, no, so but I feel like it was like a little mission that was planted by the other side, as into, boom, take out this person. Now all of a sudden he looks like a bad person.
I
it's something easy to point the finger at. He has a history of taking out opposition people or people that threaten his regime. So it was quite easy to be able to point the finger, or not even have to point the finger, and just everyone just immediately thinks that's Putin. And I was just trying to come from a different perspective of, hang on, can we get a little bit more facts, first, and before we start pointing fingers. Yeah, it's weird that he's passed away in jail and stuff like that. But I mean, so was the Jeffrey Epstein thing, that camera footage goes missing or dark or whatever, so until things get a bit more out there, I don't necessarily believe that was the case.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of sense, because when you think about it, who has the most to gain from taking the focus off of the, positive reception of Tucker Carlson's, time in Russia?
Why would he do that at that point? Basically,
exactly
what I've got to say. He could have done that at any time before then, or any time, well after. It was just too much of a coincidence. Or maybe that was his point. Maybe he was trying to come off as charming, and then next I'm going to show you that I'm not weak. That I may have come across as weak, but I'm not weak. But I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like that was the play.
Yeah, it was just strange, very, very strange timing, and I like the idea with the theory. But yes, so moving on from that, because I don't want to get stuck on Russia for too many weeks in a row. I don't want to convert. Actually,
I did watch a great video today on the Russian economy and how they're doing in their Woolworths, Coles shopping centers and stuff like that. And it wasn't the Tucker Carlson one either, where he's like putting
everyone's saying,
and go, oh wow, like they have trolleys and you can put $1 in.
Oh my god, you can buy bread.
Oh, that video just made me think, like, dude, like you are so privileged wherever you are. Like
the only thing I thought is Tucker Carlson has an assistant that goes to the shops because everybody has trolleys, but you put a little $1 in, you get the $1 back. But he's treating like there's an incentive to return it.
Yeah.
No, so you don't take it back to your homeless shelter.
Exactly. A woman went to one of the places in Russia. It was apparently like a real low budget shopping center. I don't know what it's called. She said it, but I'm not going to research it right now. And basically, the things that were there were like still cheap, man. Like, I mean, she was saying that they're expensive, but I mean, compared to here, like some of the prices on some of things, like, was like at least $3 at minimum difference. Some things were like $5-6 difference at least. So, wow. I mean, it must be already cheap over there, and then it's gone up for them. But I mean, I guess I think she was saying like the average wage over there was like $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I know the average wage isn't very high.
When you compare it to how much they earn versus how much they're spending. But I think even if you would do the maths, even if you did like the average income here, it surely couldn't be any worse.
Let's have a quick look, hey? Let's have a quick look. I feel like Pat, Valuetainment. He'd be like,
yeah.
All right,
I need you to look that up for me.
I need to look this up. Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, we're talking about Valuetainment, the PBD podcast.
Yeah. We can never remember his name. I feel terrible.
Oh no, I just don't see him as a Pat.
No, he doesn't look like a Pat. No.
Yeah.
So the average wage for Russia equates to 14,000. Just to say 15,000 US. And the average wage in Australia, it doesn't really want to say. I mean, the average like sales wage is probably like 50K Australian, which is.
Are we talking about yearly? Because they were talking about monthly.
I'm talking about yearly, yeah. So yeah, the average yearly wage for Russia is about 15,000 US.
Jeez.
Which not very much. So that works out to be about 22,000 Australian. So I guess they have to keep their costs low for people to go and buy things because they literally don't earn as much.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you're not, the biggest superpower in the world, such as America. You don't have everything and you don't have the money, so people don't get paid as much. So they obviously have to counter that.
You know what was funny? So, like, how some of these sanctions, like Coca-Cola pulling out and all these, they literally they still have Coca-Cola, but it was from like Kazakhstan. So Coca-Cola goes to Kazakhstan and then Kazakhstan ships it to Russia. So, I mean, that's like, then
Kazakhstan's making a profit on that.
Like they're telling you, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, it's just a little bit more harder now that they're roundabouts here or there. Or another thing was labels were just literally just taking, or brands, sorry, were literally just rebranding their items. So like, I don't know if it was called Fanta, it's called like, something else.
Yeah. These corporations want to appear one way, but they still need to make their bottom line. So they will find a way to make that work. So, I did find that very, very entertaining. Seeing people's reaction to that Tucker Carlson shopping video. His astonishment. He smelled the bread, and I swear he needed to have a sit down after that because he was like, oh yeah,
it's fresh.
They're famous for the bread. I'm like, I don't know if Russia's famous for its bread, but whatever. Thank you for watching Glass Culture Podcast. If you liked this video, click here to subscribe. If you want to see the full podcast, click here.